Hello everybody, happy Friday night. Welcome to my Zen Den. My name is Mandy Van Havermet and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up from Gray Eagle, Minnesota. And I am very excited to be with you tonight. I'm going to be actually working with a bundle called Sweetest Cherries. And I've had this bundle for quite a while. It's actually carrying over into the new catalog. It launched in last year's annual catalog and it'll be carrying over into the new catalog. So it's just a fun one. It's super simple to work with because it's photopolymer and it's got a punch, which makes it, it's just, to me, it's one of those simple crafting. I love punches, you know, so, the Minnesotan just came out in me again. I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to look at this bundle here quick and see what we've got cooking. Hold on one second. There we go. I swear the Minnesotan comes out in me at some of the worst times. It's very strong accent, I've been told. So, okay, here's the Sweetest Bundles or Sweetest Cherries stamp set. And then it also comes with a Cherry Builder Punch. So we're going to be using that tonight. If you're looking in the catalog, it's on page of this catalog. So the 22 to 23 annual catalog, it's on page 19. Actually going to be casing this card here tonight. So first let's start with that card. We'll case that card right there. And if you ever get stuck, on what to do with a stamp set, look in the catalog. There's some really great options in there. So we're going to use Sweet Sorbet, Old Olive, and Early Espresso ink pads. Make sure I've got enough room there. I am going to pull out a piece of paper because I just feel like I need to tonight. I'll be stamping off a little bit. I've got a piece of Petal Pink, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. So we'll fold and burnish that. And then I've got a strip of basic white. I've got another strip of basic white, and this is 1.5 inches, I'm sorry, 1 1/8 inches wide. And then I've got a strip of Petal Pink, and I do believe this is 2.5 inches wide, and it's like the width of the paper. I need it to be long enough that I can do that with it and cut it off. So you could go shorter, but not a whole lot, honestly, maybe 1.5 inches or so. So here is what we are going to do. I have got this stamp right here, which is this kind of basket weave image there. I am going to open up my Sweet Sorbet. And I'm going to pull out, because this is photopolymer, we're going to get a better image if we stamp on something. I use my Stampin' Pierce mat. That's what it's for. It's just a great tool to get that really nice image because there's no cushion built into a photopolymer stamp set. So if we look at the, get rid of that. If we look at this, it's a piece of cardstock that's laid right across on top of another piece of cardstock. So I'm going to look exactly how that is, and it's sort of under the bottom of that, like under the bottom of this corner, but over the corner down here. So something similar to that. And I'm going to take my basket weave. And here's the best part about photopolymer right here. You can see through to look exactly where you're stamping. So stamp straight down and just like that. And now you can line it up with the next one. So I've lined my image up right alongside of where my stamped image was there. Just like that. And one more time. Just like that. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. I've got it's a little short there. It's okay. Okay, and so now guess what? I can flip this over. I've got a little goober of Sweet Sorbet there. I can flip it over and nobody's going to see it. So that's what we're going to do. Now I've got that stamped while I've got my Sweet Sorbet out. I just inked up my fingers. I'm going to grab my cherry stamp, and I'm going to make 2 cherries, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a distance between the two, because when I go to punch those out, you'll see why. When I go to punch these out, I'm going to slide that in. When I've used this cherry punch before, if you get too close, your leaf will creep into your other image. So make sure you leave enough room. So we're going to stamp that. And it's like confetti flying out, apparently. Did you see all that fly out? Woo! Okay. So I've got my 2 cherries. Now I can close that up. I'm going to use Old Olive for the stem and for 2 leaves. So let's see here. I'm going to look at my punch, and what I'm going to do is kind of maybe stamp a leaf right in between my 2 cherries, and then probably a leaf in between there, and then I'll stamp my stem accordingly. What I'm trying to tell you is I'm squishing things to make them work. Okay. Let's do this one first. Like that. And this one, we're going to rip that off. Rip that little thingy off. This is the great thing about a builder punch, is you can use every little bit of scrap. It makes a lot of holes, but you can use lots of little pieces just to make the little leaves, right? All right, so now get rid of that. One more thing, I've got to make my stem. I need 2 stems. Let's do one at a time, because there's the potential here. There we go. There's one. So I've got my 1 stem there. And the other one I am going to put right here, because guess what? I'll be able to sneak one in right there. Just like that. Okay, so I have made use of that strip of paper, haven't I? Okay, so let's close that up. Now, I am using scrap. Instead of basic black, is what it looks like they're using on there, I'm using early espresso, and there's a reason for that. The Memento Basic Black has a ink pad surface that's kind of a cloth-like, and it's got a texture in it. And when I'm using a photopolymer stamp set, I find it very hard to get an image that I like, that I'm satisfied with. When I use our classic stamp pads, they've got a nice foam pad on there, and so there's no texture lines, no pieces in there that I don't like. Let me show you what I mean. When I tap that on there, I get a nice pretty image. And I'm going to, pardon my head if you see my head, I'm going to stamp straight down and straight up. And that gives me a nice, beautiful image. Where the Memento ink is great, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I get little lines in there, and I'm not so thrilled with those. So I've got my Sweet, and I'm going to place that roughly where I'm going to put it on there. I'm not attaching it, but I need both sides of this paper just in case, right? So I'm going to take my stamp that says Birthday Wishes, and I'm going to put that right down there. And I haven't attached this yet because if I need that other side of the paper, I've got it. But that's stamped beautifully. So now I am done with my ink. Let's build a card. So I'm going to take take my strip and I'm going to tack it down where I'd like it. And then I'm going to take my snips and just snip off the extra. And if you wanted to use, this is just an idea. This is not set in stone. If you wanted to use a contrasting color for this strip, by all means, please do. This is just an idea. This does not mean that this is how it has to be done. There's no right or wrong way to make a card, remember. It just gives that nice subtle look. If you're looking right at it, you can see that. Maybe not able to see it so great on the camera. So now I am going to just take my snips and do that and that. Simple. Nothing overly hard about that. So that goes like that. Find me some dimensionals here and pop that up. And as I'm building this, I want to remind you that the new catalog launches on Tuesday. Woo woo! Are you excited? So the new catalog launches on Tuesday. That means if there's anything that you want off of the last chance list, you have until Monday night basically to do that. There's still some great buys on there, some great sales. Otherwise, on Tuesday morning, the new catalog is going to launch. I've got a list made of things that I am excited to get. The new colors will be launching, which are going to be fabulous. I'm so excited for the new colors. I'm actually using 2 of the new colors on my next card, 2 of the new core colors. I've also got my in color clubs and my core color clubs still open and available. If you are interested in those, the information is on my Facebook page in the group in Mandy's Stamping Mania, so you can check out that. They're going to be great. The in color clubs and the core color clubs are so much fun. I love them, and I make fun projects that are exclusive to the club. So it's a great way to build your collection. I'm going to take just a little bit of glue, a little tiny dot on the back there, and a little tiny dot right there. Teeny, teeny, tiny. Whoa, Nelly! But the color clubs are a great way, and so it's not all at one time. It's kind of it's a way to do it over 5 months. It's a 5-month commitment. Great, great program. I've also got the paper share that's available. Both of those are due by the 15th. The registration is due by the 15th of May. I'm leaving it open a little bit longer just in case anybody wanted to get in on it. Awesome, awesome, awesome opportunities. So we're going to put those cherry stems down, and then I'm going to take one leaf and I'm going to put it, let's see here, how do I want to do that? You know what, I'm going to lift them both up. I thought about putting just one of them up, but I'm going to do both of them. So let's flip our leaves over, put a dimensional on the back of that one, and do the same thing with my other leaf. The backings on these dimensionals are coming off super easy, like almost too easy. Sometimes we fight with them, sometimes we don't. Today we don't. Isn't that just the cutest card ever? And then I wanted to add a little bit of bling. Seriously. I had them out. Where'd they go? I had some really nice petal pink faceted gems, and I put them somewhere. You know me, I always put stuff somewhere. I guess we're using rhinestones. when in doubt, use a rhinestone. They're all good. So let's do some of those. I think these rhinestones, the basic rhinestone jewels, they go with everything. For real. Just about, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with the basic rhinestones. One more. Maybe right there. All right. So there is the first card. Is that not the cutest thing? And that's cased right out of the annual catalog. What do you think? I think I did okay. I like it. Okay, the other one, the next one, is one that I designed myself using, get rid of that, using Berry Burst and Azure Afternoon. Easy for me to say. I'm also going to be using the Old Olive and a little bit of Early Espresso. So I've got a card base that is Berry Burst, 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. Then I have, let's put a cover on that. I have a piece of Azure Afternoon, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I've got a piece of Basic White, and this I believe is 3.5 by 5. Let's make sure. 3.5 by 4.75, 4 3/4. So it's just a layering piece. And this is going to be a simple stamping card. I need to clean off the stamp that says Sweet. And I also need to clean off the cherry. And the stem. Okay. Let's open up our ink pads here. And I still have my pad down there too. That's why my paper is so wonky. So I've got Berry Burst, Old Olive, Early Espresso, and Azure Afternoon. I like that word, Azure Afternoon. So I'm going to take Sweet. No, I'm not. I'm going to take this one first. Thank you for being so. And I'm stamping that up in Azure Afternoon. Stamp that straight down and straight up. Is that not the funnest color ever? So happy. And I think my stamp was wet. Let's try it again. Thank you for being so sweet. Pretty. Is that, it's such a fun font. It's so pretty. Okay, now I'm going to take my cherry and I'm going to stamp that in some Berry Burst. Right down there. And right down there. Going to take my stems. Let's see here. Like that. And like that. And then some Old Olive for my leaves. Is that so cute? Oh. And that is just stamping, right? It could be maybe over that way a little bit more, but it's okay. It's a handmade card. Let's close these up so we don't make a mess. Get this out of here. And like the fastest fast card ever, right? So we're going to put down the Azure Afternoon panel. Just center that on there. And then for fun, I'm going to bump this up with some dimensionals. You totally would not have to do that. Put it on the right way, because otherwise it'll be upside down. There's some logic for you. All right, isn't that cute? Oh, that is so darling. And a few rhinestones, because rhinestones just make everything a little bit better. There we go. Let's put a white panel on the inside of that, so we have something to write on. I absolutely love that. Thank you for being so sweet. That's the perfect card, right? There it is, card number 2. So those are my 2 cards for tonight using the Sweetest Cherries bundle. This bundle will be carrying over to the new catalog. However, it won't have the bundle pricing. So I'm going to flip the camera around here. It won't have the bundle pricing anymore. So it'll be 10% more. So if you're looking to save a few dollars, you might want to look into getting that sooner rather than later. Otherwise, like I said, the new catalog starts on Tuesday. The old catalog, you have till Monday night to order anything out of there if you are looking at that, and as well as the January to April mini catalog. So the mini catalog is also retired. It is going to be a clean slate starting on Tuesday. So if you have any questions, I am totally here to answer any questions for you. Just drop me a line either in Facebook or in my email or on YouTube. If you're watching the YouTube replay, give me a thumbs up. I would totally appreciate it. Otherwise, I will see you back here next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.